Hello and welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night, so of course that means we're playing Valley by Night River City, our Vampire 5th Edition actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason, and with me tonight is Rappy as Iola, Duba as Walter, Sarah as Emma, and Eric as Kyle. And who remembers where we left off last week?
Uh, kind of briefly split up, and we're going to meet back somewhere for a meeting with the other barons of, hey, we have a location where our people that have been visiting are having parties. Let's go and crash their party. Potentially. We got Zeke out, though.
Yes.
That we
Kyle, I
did.
believe, had taken him. Oh, go ahead, Kyle. Or Eric.
Kyle took him to a basically one of the best way to put it, gang doctor, because he knows that the hospitals are more or less controlled by the cam,
I
and
would
he
say
ain't about
more rather than less.
to take that risk. So he cashed in a few favors to get him looked at by some old acquaintances, as it were.
We're going to have to screw with his memory, aren't we?
It's a bit late for that.
I was about to say, do you have the ability to screw with his long-term memory?
I do.
Long term or short term? One of them
No,
clouds
no,
recent.
no. It's what? Dominate, right? I have forgetful mind. The vampire can rewrite whole swaths of the victim's memories as long as they can keep the victims. Hold on, I gotta. Here, let me just hit that.
I thought there was one. I don't know if that one does short or long term, though.
Duration is indefinitely.
Well, that just means once you made the change, it's changed. Let's say the vampire can rewrite all sorts of things.
Like
Well,
cloud
you
memories.
just describe what happened as opposed to what he would actually remember, and it kind of overlays it.
No, cloud memory.
The forgetful mind is what this one's called.
Cloud memories indefinitely, but forgetful mind is a bit an upgrade to it.
So yeah, as long as Kyle's okay with Iola rooting around in his head, well, it's not really rooting around. Like
You can't see their
part of his brain. On the other hand, Kindred Society can't just have him running around if he knows something about what's going on. Be hard decisions to make. But probably for another night, because the doc you took him to is quite certain this dude's been shot up with something. He gives him a quick going over and tells you, he doesn't appear to have taken much in the way of physical injury. Maybe he's a little dehydrated, but not drastically.
Yeah.
Blood sugar's a little low, but only to the point of like maybe he hasn't eaten in a day or something.
I know one thing that came up was one of them going, "Are you working today?" Because Kyle did show up dressed in his like body armor and armed.
Yeah, they are mighty curious as what exactly happened, because the gangs are familiar with your bar, so they recognize Zeke.
Yeah, his response is some idiots decided that taking Zeke to try to get to me was a good idea. To which point he is casually loading his revolver. They're going to learn that's a very bad idea very soon.
You get kind of get some nods. They understand the whole having to protect your own.
So, y'all take care of him, and I will be back once this business is finished.
Yeah, they can watch you for a night or two. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, obviously there's going to be some, obviously the doc's got to be paid, but nothing unreasonable.
Nope, nothing unreasonable at all.
But meanwhile, I believe Emma had pretty well set up a meeting. Had y'all had a venue been decided on yet?
No, we hadn't decided on a venue.
Yeah, I think the set up the meeting was the end of last week.
I think it was. I think somebody in the pact had offered a spot.
No, they offered to come.
Well, I think everybody was kind of willing to show up.
That's true. But yeah, the person from the pack has a spot.
Now, when y'all do y'all's initial split up, because I think Emma, GDO was driving Emma and Iola. And did y'all wind up back at the office?
We dropped a GDO off at where they usually pick up their Uber.
That's right.
And then took off again. We hadn't set a destination.
I knew there was some kind of way a GDO had gotten separated from you. That's right. So you get a message from him that he's probably not going to make the meeting. He's got things to work on.
Just good old thumb up emojis in chat.
But now Walter had Walter hopped away into his own power, or was he in back of Kyle's truck?
We had stated he was in the back of the Kyle's truck.
Okay. So he's outside getting Zeke set up with the gang doc, and you're just laying in the back of the truck.
Just laying in the back of the truck, obfuscated. Just as long as I don't move, no one will know I'm here. As most a-hole people will do, just walk by a random truck bed, throw a beer can.
Boop, right off your forehead. When a beer can bounces off of you, does that count as you interacting with the item?
Questions for later.
Yes. I don't know. It could become irrelevant right now. But But anyway, you get him. You get Zeke tucked in for the night. Emma and Iola, where are you going? Once you've dropped the GDO off.
Did she ever get any response back from Ada about the we've settled the account?
Probably just a thumbs up. Kind of an immediate thumbs up. Then a little bit later, maybe let me know. Let me know when you have a chance to talk about that.
And then we found our friends.
If they're near enough to the mall and people are still deciding where to get this meeting situated, she might just drop in there.
Okay, so you just pull up to the back of the mall?
Yeah, she'll be like, I'm pulling around back. I'm waiting to hear back from a couple people. I'm nearby enough.
Okay. And you've got the Barons talking, and they're, Like you've gotten a response back from most of them. Yeah, maybe getting together at least for a little bit tonight might be a good idea.
Should we you guys settle the venue? We're a little bit close to the front line, so it might not be the best locations. And of course, Vampire can't.
But you pull around to the back of the mall. Two of Woodard's.
Woodard.
I was thinking Bullard. I was like, that's not right. Two of Woodard's security guys are like, as you walk up, are already there opening the door for you.
Does a little thank you nod, and is Miss Ada somewhere that easy enough to find?
Oh, what was that again?
She was asking where Ada would be.
They believe her and Miss Woodard are in the office. One of them stays at the door. One of them offers to escort you and Iola to the office.
Nods and lets them take the lead.
I mean, you've been here enough times, you know where it's at now.
Yeah, still just courtesy.
Yeah, it's more of a sign of respect on their part as well. Or maybe they don't want you running around unsupervised. Who knows?
That as well, probably where. Yeah.
It's vampires. It could be a little column A, a lot of column B.
Especially older vampires.
So you get back there. Woodard's sitting behind her desk. Ada's in a chair on one side of the room. When you walk in, Woodard stands up.
Miss Woodard.
Barrett?
Ada.
How many of the bastards did you kill?
Outright. Oh god, I remember this last week. Was it 4 or 5?
4.
Including the sniper?
Yes.
Okay. That I'm aware of, 4.
That's a good start.
And it is a good start. We've also come into information that leads us to where they are retreating to, which we're going to potentially use tonight.
Ada nodded at that. I assume that's the party you were trying to organize.
Yes. A question to that for you, Ada. Should I be able to get one of them alive enough to question, would you be interested in doing the honors?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
if I can...
some of the other Barons probably have their own people as well, but...
They do, but considering we found them, I think we may get first dibs.
But yes, I'd certainly be willing to.
I'll see if I can convince people to leave bodies unmangled enough to give us one with enough coherency to question at the end of it.
Excellent. We got a report
Translation: she has to have a talk with Kyle.
We've also gotten a report that the old lumber place is on fire.
Yes, that conveniently ties into them. Our paths aligned tonight in that we were looking to retrieve an asset, and the asset was there. And we retrieved that asset, and they thought they could bury us in the building. They did not.
They buried Iola a little bit.
She's not going to say that anyone was buried.
Even Iola may look like she's been buried under a little bit of rubble.
They all probably look pretty dusty.
That's true. Y'all all look a bit of a mess. And Woodard seems to notice that about that time. Oh, do you need a area to clean up? We have some spare clothes.
If you wouldn't mind, I would be thankful for that.
Ada offers to escort you back, and it's you're back in the kind of behind the walls part of the mall.
Yeah, jeans and t-shirts.
Well, they have
keeps the jackets.
They have fancier stuff too.
She's about to go commit various crimes. Probably don't need to be putting on the Ritz.
Well, very, very well. Which takes you back to an area that's got several showers set up. Like an odd number for a mall.
She kind of gives like a questioning look of,
There's so many empty storefronts that we're making use of the space.
may as well.
You know, this is a mall that's downhill enough that you can't even see the empty storefronts now. It's just, you know, they've just paneled it up, so it's like solid walls. Like they're giving up. Oh. I think we had the Hobbit show up. Halfling. Munchkin, that's the word I'm looking for. It was one of those words for short people.
Gnome, maybe, we don't know.
One of my greatest regrets in D&D is the fact that gnomes don't often have the pointed hats.
See, you just gotta give them the pointed hats. Then name one of them David.
Mm-hmm.
No, she'll change in whatever casual-ish clothes. Keep the shoes, keep the jacket, of course.
Do you need a clean toboggan?
She probably tucked one into the jacket, but she would put on, switch them out when no one's looking, of course.
In the shower stall.
Just the toboggan soaking wet.
How you just say this there. What are you so shy about? You ain't got nothing I haven't seen before.
Yeah, still have weird hang-ups about being mostly human. Okay, closing curtain.
Well, that's almost refreshing to run into.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll shake itself loose eventually, but it's still firmly clinging.
All right, Kyle and Walter, where do y'all go once y'all leave the gang dock?
Well, Kyle actually will ask. By the way, do y'all happen to have any heavier ordnance here I might make use of or pay for?
At the docks
You
place?
gotta-
No, of course not.
Well,
You got an Abrams.
at the gang area in general, sort of that area of town. He's going to where he knows some munitions are, and he's seeing if he might acquire them. Meaning, up to you whether or not they have heavier stuff, and if they do, he will buy them.
Do you have an Abrams? Do you have a ground-to-air missiles?
Just imagine, where's Kyle? Rolls up in a tank.
Well, there is an old National Guard armory like across the road from the mall, but I can't remember if it's still in use or not.
Sir,
It's also probably in camp territory.
sir, I
Yeah,
need you to
a
go
little
ahead and prescribe me my medicinal A12 Abram.
M1A2 Abrams, yes.
Again, my medicinal.
I'll be right back.
Uh, they don't have much. You know, they've got a few AKs stashed away. But it's, you know, most of their armament are just kind of, you know, handgun, sidearm kind of things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I said, they've got they've got a few AKs. They're kind of like, how many are you wanting to buy?
One or two.
Oh, yeah, they can say you want to.
He'll buy them.
At first, I thought you were trying to, like, equip a squad of folk. They charge you about, you know, twice regular market value if you went through legit means to get them.
Yeah.
And while you're making this deal, they're complaining about the fact that for some reason it's gotten harder for them to get stuff in town. It's like the Port Authority and, you know, even like folks on the road seem to be checking shipments of stuff.
It's odd. Huh. I'll have to look into that.
Well, you've had a hand in helping get the port authority or some of the barons along the waterfront have gotten the port authority involved in cracking down on cam smuggling, which sort of cracks down on everybody smuggling.
Yes. Thing is, the only bits of getting involved that Kyle is aware of is the stuff that he's directly involved with.
No, that's true.
So yeah.
But yeah, they tell you where to go to pick the stuff up. They call ahead,
Mhm.
let the person know. You have to pay cash on delivery, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They know you. They trust you, relatively speaking, but still, cash on delivery.
Yeah. Cash on delivery.
So you pick that up without any trouble, and you've been seeing, text going back and forth
Mm-hmm.
from the barons organizing where they're going to be.
Yeah.
It looks like a spot over in Clint's domain is winning out.
Okay.
Because it's not quite on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good distance away from. Well, actually, I take that back. Emma hasn't told them where they're at. It's just that she's got an idea where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
But and that seems to be where the barriers are settling down. Let's see. We were saying the fight last week probably went down around.
Said about 10 minutes from where the lumber place was.
Well, I mean, time-wise, as far as what time of night it is.
Oh, fairly
Uh,
early because we left pretty much right from the decapitations to go hunt down Zeke.
Yeah.
That's right, and they discovered the decapitations as soon as they woke up and got to the mall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after this running around, you're probably looking at it being about midnight.
Sunup is about 6 o'clock.
5:30
Yeah.
to 6. So they're trying to get the meeting set up for 1.
Makes sense.
So I've got probably 30 minutes or so before the meeting of stuff, of time you can actually do some stuff before.
Well, Emma will look over at Iola. Do you need to grab something to eat or anything?
Yes.
Go ahead and do that. We'll meet up at the office in 20-ish minutes. How far away
Okay.
is Clint's from the office?
From the office, y'all can get there in 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll leave the office in about 20 minutes.
But yeah, y'all get showered up and clothes changed or whatever. Now, who all are you planning to take to the meeting? Is it just going to be you barons?
Yeah, Emma was gonna probably bring that up. Do we want to bring any of the security force or kind of leave them here to keep an eye on stuff?
Say we keep an eye on things, considering how badly we rattled them. They could counterattack, and we need boots on the ground.
Yeah, we don't know if that's the only cell.
That's true. Did Sebastian say he would be there?
Sebastian has not been involved in the conversation. His right hand
Okay.
man has been. And there will be somebody from Wallace there.
Okay. Because he was told he needs to talk to Sebastian about potentially getting a meeting with that older Gangrel.
Oh yes.
Which he will make an attempt at doing.
That is the wrong document.
During that 20 minutes of kind of between downtime, Emma will just send out a note to Miles and Kincaid of, hey, be a little extra vigilant the rest of the evening. Maybe some visitors that we don't want or need. Of course, and a vampire can't.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we would hate for him. We'd hate for him to get some payback. But they've already been on high alert with there being that fire down the road.
What's the success for feeding?
In domain or out of domain?
We're going in domain, so in domain.
In domain, it is. Swap over to coterie. I think it's. Ordinarily, it'd be one less than standard, but is one. But the difficulty went up one because of COVID. So it would be standard hunting difficulty.
Which I think 4 does it. Let me pull up.
Which I think is a 4 or a 5.
I think 4 does it, but let me find.
I want to think it was a 4.
Nope, not feeding. That's the hunting ground. Yes, 4 pulls it off.
Okay. Well, I got 5 successes.
Okay. Yeah, I could use about 8. You're at the office. You look at the watch. You go, oh yeah, that dude at the Waffle House be taking the trash out right about now. So you walk out of the office, across the parking lot. You're just waiting by the Waffle House's back door.
Kind of have to make sure that guy, somebody check his iron levels.
I take enough to slate 1 hunger. Just so that I'm good to go. Need be.
He just keeps coming to work. These little iron supplements have been left for him in his locker. He keeps giving me these.
Just somehow still compelled to take them.
You will never donate blood to any blood organization, and you will always take your iron pills.
But so yeah, you're just there. You're literally just there waiting on this one guy. That, well, it's not always the same person, but somebody on the night shift usually takes out the trash at a certain time. So yeah, you're just kind of waiting there as he's throwing it into the dumpster. You just kind of walk up behind him. He's blissed out before he even realizes you're there. Or maybe with your hunting style, you walk up like you're going to bum a cigarette or something. Because I forgot yours is a little more of a social hunting style.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thinks you work at one of the local hotels or something on the night shift. Who knows? If he remembers you at all.
Nah, I make him forget.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Yeah, it's funny because the guy sees you and uses the same pickup line like every time. But all right, so you've gotten you about to eat. Kyle and Walter have had time to get back to the. Well, y'all were probably already back there because y'all were talking. But the time rolls around to go meet at Clint's. So you head down to the Sherwood Oaks domain.
Mhm.
Or I should say over to it. Like usual, as you're pulling in, he's got people stationed at the. Well, there's not really a gate there that can be closed, but right up by the road. They direct you back to that same house that he's used, that y'all been there for meetings before, with just him. Where he's got his, he's got a study set up and all that kind of stuff, but more than likely that's not his actual domain or his actual haven.
It's his office.
Yeah. But you get there, you see more of his people moving around than you've seen before. It's like he's probably got an all hands on deck, security situation going on. But you see Shelly and is it Calvin, his other one? I think those are the two named ones.
I think so.
They greet you at the door and bring you on in. Several of the other barons are already here. You see Josephine. Maddox is already here. August is there. The you're blanking on his name, but the kind of the second in command of the Wallace barony is there.
Huh?
If y'all were Cam, he'd be referred to as the whip. You don't really know if folks in Wallace use a title for him. Everybody just knows, that he's the highest guy up until you get to the actual barony.
Mm-hmm.
You've barely been there long to say hi to anybody before you start hearing motorcycles outside. And then 3 members of the pack come in.
Do you have a tablet or a laptop or something that I could borrow just to pull up a map? Or even just a paper map that's fairly recent?
Clint's like, oh yes, I've certainly got paper maps. But as he's saying that, Shelly walks over and hands you an iPad.
Oh, thank you. She'll just start pulling up the location on like Google Maps or something.
Okay. Let's see, do I have y'all dumped on the map that I'm currently on? Yes, okay. So yeah, like I told you last time, it's across the river. And then up kind of north. Not far enough to be getting to anywhere near Athens.
Yeah.
Which is the next city up there. But it's just, you go up there a ways, and it's like one little side road off that weasels back. And then it's this rundown trailer park. So they got a little bit of distance, but it was not. It wasn't complicated. You looking through that one Inquisitor's or Hunter's eyes, it wasn't hard for you to kind of keep up with where they were going.
Yeah.
So you pull that up. Oh yes, the Warden of the North is there. And she's more familiar with that area in general, being the northmost baron. She tells you she's passingly familiar with that place, though she doesn't think anybody's actually been living there for a few years at least.
They're living there tonight, as far as I can tell.
Well, she just meant that she didn't think the trailer park had been active in a while. She wasn't doubting that you were saying they were holed up there.
As far as I can tell during the events that occurred, we've taken out 4 of them, probably injured several others. They enjoy using explosives, so if we plan on attacking them, please bear that in mind. But there were propane tanks there, so we can always repay the favor.
I'm fresh out of grenades.
I'm sure
Everybody in the
they're
room just sort of looks at you.
not even kind of phased, but I'm sure we can find other ways to make a propane tank explode.
Oh, fantastic. I was trying to destroy one of those Humvees, but it just ended up killing several people instead.
Maddox picks up. If they have actual military Humvees, yeah, those, they'd be somewhat armored.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of, they were pretty heavily armored themselves. And armed, for that matter.
Well, that means they may be government related as opposed to just the
They
civilian
Which,
riffraff.
by the way, Kyle did show up still in the slightly dusty from having a roof collapsed on him duster and armored flak vest. So
Yeah, you and Walter are kind of messy if Walter lets himself be seen.
Oh, he's amongst the barons, so yeah, he would happily let himself be
So yeah,
seen with
y'all
them.
look like y'all been in a fight. You do notice the ladies are all gussied up though. I mean, normal clothes, but they're all cleaned up.
When Emma was listening in, did they sound government or were they using like? We know that in the truck or the van they said, "Why'd you let that one walk in front of you?" That kind of thing. So
Give me a wits awareness. See what you picked up on. As far as like their style of talk.
I had my aspects to this, correct? Or is
that's
that
if
only if I'm using?
that power is active.
For this, I don't think it would work though.
Yeah, this is more about what you put together out of the information you've got. Or what you picked up at the time.
3.
3. The guy that seemed to be in charge seemed to have kind of a military professional sort of vibe to him, the way he carried himself, the way he spoke, some of the terminology he was using. Not everybody else in the vehicle did.
The higher up may have some training, but I don't think the entire group did. If anything, maybe they plucked him for his military training or government connections, and the rest were built off of what they could find.
August speaks up. It's possible. I mean, that if I was going to try to design a covert organization to attack us, that might not be a bad way to do it. Take your experienced people that know what they're doing and spread them out to build cells. So not everyone we're dealing with may be professional, but I bet you they've been trained on how to use their weapons.
And probably about what they're hunting at the very least.
Yes, some of these hunters seem to. This latest round of Inquisitors seem to know a disturbing amount about us.
In regards to that, should we attack tonight, if we can keep one of them alive for questioning, I think it would benefit all of us.
Everybody seems to think that's probably a good idea.
Higher up the food chain in there, the better. More they would know.
Though, one of the members of the package says, it's great for us to plan that. Let's try to take one alive.
If the shit hits the fan, kill them all. But
realistically, though, when Dragon Breath starts getting fired at you, yeah, you tend to just put that person down.
it's a a wish, but not a horribly realistic one should shit hit the fan.
Maddox is like, surely we can take one of them alive.
At least mostly alive.
Perhaps, and he kind of gestures to Walter. Perhaps we should have our stealth specialists concentrate on taking a prisoner.
Stealth is also another element we may want to employ before barging in there. At the other location, they did have cameras set up near the perimeters. We don't want to give them any opportunity to know we're coming.
And while they more than likely will find them, cameras might not just be watching for intruders. They could also be recording and displaying that information remote too.
So we'll need to do some scouting. Find out where the cameras are.
I agree.
But if we start eliminating cameras, they'll, that would alert them. Especially if you've bloodied their nose good tonight, they'll be on high alert, I'm sure.
Or licking their wounds. It hasn't been, more than an hour or so?
If that.
Well, y'all did some driving around town, so it might be getting closer to 2 by this point. It's still relatively quick, though. Really quick turnaround. How large a force do you think we should send? And do we want to send it tonight? Or hit them early tomorrow night?
They might relocate tomorrow night.
Or call
Tonight-
reinforcements?
Tonight they're still reeling from having 4 of their own killed. They might be more on edge, more alert, yes, but the number of defenders of the location would also be lesser.
Clint or not. Tracking a wounded animal back to its lair is dangerous. But if it's weakened, you want to take it out then as opposed to letting it recover.
Quite so.
And then he looks at Kyle. How would you suggest we handle it? You've had the most experience dealing with these, the most combat experience against these people.
Ideally, first, this is, of course, providing an ideal scenario where absolutely nothing will go wrong. Which we all know that won't happen. But stealth specialists first to identify recon points, places where long-range fire can eliminate targets of opportunity, or identify those with more dangerous armaments that would be of use against us, such as those toting heavy shotguns, such as Mossberg AA-12s, or anything like that that could be modified to utilize Dragon Breath ammunition. Also, trying to figure out what cameras are around to either have an agent nearby to blind them when the assault begins so they have no advance warning, or to put them on edge and panicked by systematically working on them. And in their panic, whatever kind of defense they might have set up might be less effective, because as we all know, panic will throw off even the best of plans. From that point, I would advise those going in on the front line, if you have access readily available to some kind of armor, I would wear it, because while our skin is toughened against modern firearms and bladed weaponry, they would still work just as well against incendiary ammunition at stopping those, so the amount of damage that might do to us would be lessened. That said, I have the scouts. If we can identify the most ideal targets of approach while eliminating areas where we might have entrenched gun positions, That would also be ideal, as trying to rush an entrenched position, especially one that is on a higher elevation plane than our own, is a great way of getting a lot of bullets shot into you.
There's a few knowing nods agreeing with that.
Perhaps those with more of a mental bend to their abilities or gifts could potentially also utilize those powers to sow chaos in the ranks and thus destabilize defensive lines and allow those attacking from the front to more easily breach whatever defensive line they might have available. Other than that, as we have seen repeatedly throughout our tenure dealing with these people, at least this cell or cells, it could be more than one. Keep a wary eye out for traps of any description. As you can tell from my outfit right now, that they decided that yes, they were going to use shaped charges to take out the entirety of the support structure of the roof of an entire building and try to drop it on us as a way to pin us and then burn us to death. So I wouldn't be surprised if, as a last resort, they have some form of explosive or incendiary charge in order to basically, to put a phrase to it, if you know the bear's going to kill you, you want to bloody the nose. Take out as many of them as you can as you go. That is a rough highlight, but on short notice, those would be the things I'd look out for.
Everybody seems to be giving what you said a decent thought.
Like Kyle didn't just blurt out an entire battle strategy.
Like you've been thinking about this while you've been driving around.
Probably, yeah.
So Valerie Vega, the Warden of the North, female gang role, y'all better.
Yeah.
She brings up. You were speaking of the elevation being an issue. If I recall, this trailer park, it's sort of inside a wooded area, and then back behind the park, it goes up into a hill. Not a real tall hill, but if you were at the top of it, you have a pretty good view of the whole park. Obscured by trees to some degree.
But they could very easily have entrenched gun placements there, or at least snipers of some caliber. We did find at the mill, which is still currently on fire, I believe.
Clinton nods it. Yes, I can still smell it.
They did have a sniper lying in wait. So we do have confirmed, at least in one instance, of them having high-grade ordnance in terms of anti-material weaponry.
Also potentially use the high ground in the rear to our advantage, should we clear it first.
That would be a good target for infiltration team to hit first.
We can clear it and lure them back towards there. It would be shooting downhill if nothing else.
So what you're saying is take their snipers out and replace them with our snipers. And this voice comes from like over relatively close to him, and you didn't even realize anybody was there, and suddenly you see a rat standing there.
Precisely. There are many of us here that have the gift to move around unseen. Why shouldn't we use those gifts?
Speaking of unseen, they were using some thermal imaging gear. So, despite being able to move unseen, if there is a chance, they might notice cold spots moving around. I would be mindful.
One of the pack speaks up. Were they able to see Walter?
Walter, you were the one that advanced to take out the sniper. We waited on you, so that's on you.
Well, luckily, no, he didn't see me. But then again, I did approach him from behind, so it made it a bit easier to take him out. Luckily, the element of stealth was my blessing. Though nature decided to almost get me heard, luckily I was quick enough to snap the sniper's neck before he realized I was there.
Hmm. So potentially could have been distracted, or the gear might not be good enough to pick us up, or those of you that have those gifts up, but not something to bank on.
No, it probably worked for potentially infrared, judging by the gear he had, but it probably wasn't tuned in for, say, a cold spot.
August not said. I've known some people that could obfuscate that machinery can't see them any better than mortals. But I've known others that were counting on their stealth only to have someone with modern equipment turn around and see them. We will have to tell the stealth people to not take for granted that they won't be seen.
I'd like to keep the casualties on our side as low as possible. We've already had enough bodies hit the floor while they've been here.
Oh yes, of course.
Another thing we may be able to do to our advantage is take some of the attention off of the weird goings on and pin it on them.
That is true.
Trailer park full of people with high ordinances explodes and kills some people. Let people draw the conclusions there.
Maddox tells you, I've brought something along that might help explain exploding trailers. A little lab equipment, a little methamphetamine, just to stroll about the spot.
Well, you certainly have my attention now.
If the trailers haven't exploded, by the time we're done, we can explode them on our way out. Those sorts of labs are often set up in old trailers. They often explode.
It's a good message to leave as well.
Indeed. And while I'm loath to mention that they might be helpful, if we give that much of an excuse, then the cam-controlled media sources will run with that because it's an easy cover-up.
That's true. Well, I wouldn't say as much of have them help. It's we are using them to do the work for us.
Mutual
yes,
ass
we're not
covering.
notifying them, but if we give them an easy excuse to run to, they'll run to it.
One last thing since you have spoken on, detonating trailers, I would like to see if we can't suss out any intel before we leave. Things that the regular rank and file or those we might manage to capture might not know. We might be able to get, if there are any more operating cells that we aren't aware of, could be a chance they're communicating with one another. We might be able to discover any further locations or who might even be backing them. Because the amount of gear they have, that takes some serious cash.
Well, of course, Adams. That's why your compatriots were talking about taking some alive.
If we can't, we search the premises before having a fireworks show.
If we get the chance to search their trailers, that's all fine and good. But if there's been a firefight, we may not have that much time afterwards, regardless of how damaged or undamaged they are.
Exactly.
as I mentioned, if the chance is there, it would behoove us to take it,
Indeed,
because it's
indeed.
better to have more intel than we need than not enough. Though I do understand time constraints. The CAM have certainly used that against us as a collective more often than not with the police and media.
Indeed.
We're burning moonlight. If we're gonna do it, we should do it.
That we are. At that point, he turns to the pack and holds up 2 AK-47s. Do either of you want these?
The leader that is here, because the pack's actually led by 2.
That's like you said, so like the pack showed up because there's multiple motorcycles.
Well, 3 members of the pack showed up. Only one of them was one of the 2 leaders, though.
That's true. Yeah, so he gestured to the 3.
Saul is
It's
like, yes, please.
Hand him over.
He hands one to one of the other guys, and then he starts like breaking his down, checking to see if it's loaded. Looking like he knows his way around an AK.
And because Egidio's not here, Kyle is reclaiming his shotgun.
We'll say he could have left it in the car.
Yeah.
Probably would have, otherwise he's walking around the neighborhood with it.
Mossberg AA-12, and yeah.
Shotgun and a guitar. Very Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yep. Yeah, at that point he's literally in there in body armor, a shotgun, slugs, revolver.
You're not the only one fairly well armed.
Yeah.
Several flunkies get sent out to cars and come back with like flak jackets and stuff.
Do we want to have a designated fallback spot?
Valor says you can fall back to the park. I'll have some of my people on guard there already.
Good a spot as any.
Looks for me.
August asks, all right, and he's addressing kind of the entire room, not just you guys. How large a force are we taking?
It's $1 million question.
And are we going to split the force up where we have the assault force and then someone else held back as, reserves if needed?
Having a flanking element certainly could help. So at the very least, we have a stealth recon force, potentially ambush eliminators to remove any potential gun line units from the high ground. We need an assault force. So that is 2, if not 3 there already.
Rat speaks up. Well, obviously, me and Walter will be part of the initial, insertion scouts, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
We'll be going in first.
Rat, you have anyone on your team that you're thinking of that's good with long arms?
I've got a fellow that used to be a hunter before his embrace.
All right.
I don't know if he knows how to use one of those machine guns. Do you hand it off over there?
Oh no, I have a sniper rifle with some ammo in my truck.
Oh yeah, that's probably something you could use.
Okay.
Don't expect military level sniper professional.
No, that's fine. It's a modified hunting rifle. I just they've been around here long enough. So I'm just putting the cards on the table, as it were, as he gestures to the firearms around the room.
Can't move for particularly stealth, but if I can get an eye shot of some of them, I can listen in, so to speak.
Couldn't hurt.
But you have to be with the eyesight of them.
I have to be able to see them, not like making eye contact, but I have to be able to see them with my eyes.
So not binoculars.
I'm not sure. I'd be willing to give it a shot.
One of Clint's who walks out of the room and comes back with a pair of binoculars. They're not military grade. They're like nice bird watching binoculars, not.
She'll give it a shot. I mean, it never said it couldn't be like augmented eyesight.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. So that still leaves the question of how many people in each force. Rat's still kind of putting together folks to basically reestablish his domain. But he's got a couple of knots he can bring.
On a head count of people when she was listening or hitchhiking in that guy's body, about how many people were there?
There was about 8 that left the old lumberyard alive. Some of them
Okay.
injured.
Yeah.
And they were. You saw at least 3 people that were not involved in the attack that were like already at the trailers when they got there. But then they kind of divided up into different, into different trailers. The wounded were taken into one. The guy you were looking through went to another one.
Given what I saw, there was probably about a dozen that I can account for. Some injured, some not. I can't give you more than that. There could be more that were there that I didn't see.
Maddox nods his head, so at least a dozen.
Spread out between, she kind of gestures to the trailers.
Yeah, you saw about 5 trailers.
Yeah.
That might just be the dozen that were available to leave at the time, so there could be more. So we know at minimum about a dozen.
One of the packs speaks up. This could also just be one cell. If we're dealing with multiple cells, this could just be where one was.
Yeah.
That's true.
Those might just be the guys assigned to this part of town. Because we know they've been hitting multiple places, both ours and Cam's.
Granted, they did have to cut through town to get to where we were. So there's also that. There is the potential that this might be the only cell, but let's not count on it.
Yes, August says yes. Far better to assume the worst, and then be pleasantly surprised than assume the best and be unpleasantly surprised.
Quite so.
If you would take recommendations, I would suggest that we have any gestures to his and some of Maddox's group. Some of our heavily armed and armored people held in reserve. Not very many of my people are stealthy. But we could say keep most of my forces a little south of the turnoff into the park, and maybe Maddox's or somebody else's a little bit to the north. So if we have any runner, anybody gets to a vehicle and tries to flee, we have people ready to stop them.
Couldn't
and
hurt.
rely on the actual people doing the assault and our stealthy infiltrators, to pick up anybody that tries to run away on foot. Matt just
looks
kind of
over.
nods along with that. The pack and Valerie all just kind of like, the fancy guy doesn't want to get into the fight. All right.
Kyle look over at the pack, by the way, and it's like, so I guess we're heading onto the front line then.
Saul's like, kind of figured that was going to happen.
Makes sense.
Their way isn't the only way to be stealth. No one expects a wolf in a forest.
That's Clint's like, that's pretty much where they expect him. Just not around here.
Well, yeah, not around here. Worth a shot.
We'll see. So other than myself and these fine folk here, as he gestures to the other gangrel of the pack, who else is hitting the front line?
Fair enough with a firearm. I can do some stuff with people's heads. I can come in.
I can also come in.
Okay.
Clint doesn't mind being part of the front line.
Mm.
Though some of his people might not be particularly designed for that.
Maybe not front line, but like, right behind the front line.
Yeah.
Just out of the splatter zone.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of splatter.
Wear a rain parka.
You've gotten sassy.
Pulling pages out of people's books.
I like it. Okay.
August's like, oh, she's taking a role of responsibility and is growing into it.
That she is.
We've noticed some differences with you too, Kyle.
Oh.
Just a little more maturity, a little more worried about a little more than just your bar.
You did give me a whole area to look over.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying we've noticed there's differences. You're all coming along quite nicely.
I appreciate the pats on the back. We're burning moonlight. Let's get this done with. We can celebrate later.
It's true.
All right. So August's going to take his people, stake out the road to the south. Matt is going to take his, stake out the road to the north. To hopefully, if they try to call another cell in, hopefully be able to cut that cell off, or at least hold them up. You got the pack. Basically, all the gangrels are going to go in with Kyle, Emma, and Iola. Or was Kyle going to try to do the stealthy thing as a wolf?
Could do both.
And I was considering it, but honestly, he's kind of at that mad level where he just wants to hit something really hard.
I would like to roll for violence.
Just want to hit something really hard, but he's just been bragging on me about being so mature.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, you need frontline fighters, so you know.
Yeah. And he would probably be on the front line for this engagement.
Is Shiloh going?
He left Shiloh at home.
Well, Shiloh's not going to be happy about that.
Well,
Shiloh got to have one fun adventure tonight.
specifically, the order was, I need you to protect the house. And that if anybody attacks the house, kill them.
Okay. He's in guard dog mode as you're leaving.
Yep.
And he's still pretty keyed up from, all the goings on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can smell the fire from a couple of miles away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where he's at. Right?
So the stealth squad is basically Rat, two of Rat's people, and Walter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so y'all head out.
Oh, he does hand whoever Rat says is the guy. Does hand him the rifle with the ammo.
Yeah. Well, that guy's not here. It's like everybody had to split up to pick up a few more people.
Yeah. But he gives it to Rat then.
No.
To give to the guy.
And at Valerie's suggestion, y'all are, the meeting up point is going to be the park in her domain.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all will move out to, actually assault or actually surround the place.
Yeah.
So is the frontline guys going in immediately, or are they going to let the stealth guys go in first?
Stealth guys first.
Okay.
Want to eliminate as many avenues of counterattack as possible.
How far back is frontline hanging? Like, can we see the trailer park?
You can see some of it from the road. It's like a little bit of open field, maybe like an old abandoned house or something. You go back off the road, you can see the front two trailers. And as you get back past them, it's like the woods kind of come out and kind of half envelop the park.
Okay.
And then the woods get thicker going up the hill behind the park.
Yeah. She will try the power through the binoculars while the stealth crew's doing their thing. But let them do that first.
All right, so the stealth crew's going in. It occurs to me I should probably have done a map or gotten a map for this. Not like for tactical, not for...
Just for visual aid. Can do like just some blocks. Trailers are kind of block shaped.
Boy, that's bright. It's bright white. Alright, let me just draw you a picture. Definitely, I'm not going to shame myself by putting on the stream. one's really bad. All right, so you've basically got the 5 trailers. Consider this here to be kind of the wood line, encircling it. Back up in here is where you're starting to go up the hill. Down to the south there, that leads down to the road, to the main road. I did move over to this page, didn't I? Yes.
You did.
But so what direction does the Walter? You're. I mean, technically, I guess Rat's probably is. You and Rat. Oh, you and Rat are both considered barons, so it's the two of you that are kind of in charge of the stealth brigade. Which way are y'all going to approach the trailers?
That's a good question.
Keeping in mind that the hill is back here, and there was the concern that they could have snipers up there.
I'm guessing down here is the main entrance, so
Right.
yeah, Walter would probably think of any type of particular flank to try to get an advantage on. Probably would stealth up onto the hill and look into whatever, and if there are, any snipers there, do our best to either eliminate them or go ahead and pacify one of them and get the take one back alive accomplishment taken care of, so that way the rest can kind of freely go about what they want to do.
We'd go for the
But that would be Walter's suggestion, and he would ask Rat his opinion if he would rather do a different way.
No, Rat's good with swinging up there and making sure there's no snipers. Or taking care of the snipers if there are before making their way down into the camp. Or park. And for this, everybody's been handed out basically at least all the Baron level guys and gals have been handed out, comm units that are linked together. Just little, or I should just say little radios. It's nothing too fancy, but they suggest not carrying on long conversations on them, because who knows what kind of detection equipment these guys have got. But like when the stealth squad is ready for the frontal assault guys to start, you can notify them.
All right.
All right. So as you are sneaking up there, Walter, give me a dex stealth for sure, but also I need a wits awareness.
All right. Un momento, por favor. Good. Oh, wait, I am on the correct page. You just need to pull up data. All right. So you said a dex stealth, correct? All right. Go ahead. Grab some dice. Not you. 3 successes on that. And you
On
said a
which one?
wits awareness?
Yes,
correct?
also wits awareness, yes.
Okay. That's a 4.
Okay. Oh, I guess I need to roll for the people with you. Alright. Rat is also very stealthy. Let's see how aware he is. Both of you are pretty good. So you're creeping along. And both of you, towards almost the very top of the hill. Not quite on the top where they see their profile easily if they got backlit. Just a couple of yards from the top. You spot two areas where they've set, or two spots where they have set up basically like wooden pallets.
Mm-hmm.
The back end's resting on the hill. The front ends are up on blocks a little bit so that they lay, despite being on the hill, they're laying flat across.
Okay.
One of them there's nobody on. The other one there's two guys on. One is laid down, with the rifle. The other guy is sitting up. It's
Spotter.
not binoculars he's using. It's something bigger, bulkier than that he's like scanning the area with.
Yep, definitely a spotter.
What you get with your 4 is as you're creeping down, you're still a few yards from them. You notice something a little shiny on the ground. When you look down, the first thing you see, you see an old aluminum can.
Mm-hmm.
And then you notice some more cans, some tin cans, or, not Coke cans. And you realize they're all strung together.
Oh.
Low to the ground, hard to notice. In fact, you're not sure Rat has noticed.
Well,
Because, like, were you stopping or looking at him, he's about to take another step forward.
at that point, Walter would, not getting too loud, but just like, hold position.
Rat freezes. He looks over, he's close enough that he just looks over at you.
Again, he just kind of keeps that low tone just to be able to communicate. They've got the ground rigged.
Yeah. Now he starts looking at the ground closely, and he spots what you've spotted. And his two guys were following behind you two, so when y'all stopped, they stopped. Oh wait, could they they couldn't see you, could they?
Well, we'd all probably bump into each other if we weren't careful, but I would hope that they would hear him.
That's true. If you're whispering, they'd be close enough to hear the whispering. Other than that, they're probably listening for footsteps. But that's what you see. You've clearly got a spotter and a sniper. And the guy that's like scanning out, he's looking across the park, but he is occasionally like turning around, looking to the sides.
Okay, so he's not just mainly focused on the entrance, he's also trying to look at all sides.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you were one of their snipers, you might be a little paranoid after knowing one of their other snipers got taken out.
A little bit.
But that's what you see right now. And you can step over that string. The string's low to the ground. It's like anybody walking through. You'd catch it, and then that would alert them. It's not hard to step over though.
Walter would just advise him, like, if we're going to keep advancing, watch your step. And, he'll try to step over and just kind of keep paying attention to look for anything on any more, hand traps as he advances a few more paces.
Okay. Let's see. What did you get on your wits awareness? Oh, not your wits. I mean, not your wits. Your stealth.
3.
Okay. So you're not necessarily completely silent, but you're pretty quiet.
Of all times for you to be a needy cat.
Well, luckily he's a cat, so he's not worried about when it's convenient for you. It's all about when it's convenient for him.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So you're walking around, you hear one loud snap. Not freakishly loud, but like somebody stepping on a stick. Nobody triggered the tripwires. Everybody's looking out for those now. But it causes the spotter guy to look around behind him, up over the, basically up towards the top of the hill that y'all have just come over. And if I remember correct, Walter can't be seen.
No, he has
by,
ghosts in the machine, so he's machines won't notice him.
Well, your compatriots don't.
Oh, goody.
Because one of them
Were
rolled
they
no
rat?
successes on his 5 dice. No, it wasn't Irad. I was rolling for the 2 flunkies.
Oh.
So that guy screams, "There's 3 of them!" The sniper starts to roll over, but he's got the big gun, so it's taking him a minute to try to get around. The spotter is going for a sidearm.
At that point, Walter will again continue to communicate as he is, but he's like, "Damn you, thick scatter!"
All right, so what is Walter doing?
Well, at this point, Walter's going to try to continue advancing, but again, he's going to continue his best to be cautious. He knows he can't be seen, at least he's hoping he can't be seen with what the guy's holding. But at this point, he's still trying to continue the stealth mission if he can. He realizes right now it's partially compromised.
Well, both the humans are about to open fire on some of your compatriots, or try to.
Hmm.
Uh,
How heavy are the 2 flunkies?
they look like normal guys. They're not big. They're twisted up a little bit. But they're not oversized like Walter is.
Probably with fear of how this is going to go, Walter probably takes a very quick moment to realize that it may not be wise to press on and get to the 2 flunkies and leap. Till
So you run over and
hit-
you just grab them and you just jump.
Yep. He's pretty much going to apologize to Rapid. He's just like, "I'm going to get these 2 out."
All right. At that point, you're talking loud enough that it probably makes you noticeable.
Well,
Because everybody's starting to run around now, so you can't really whisper and get anything across.
Yep. Yeah, they're starting to freak out, so there ain't really much you can do on that part.
So you grab them and leap away.
Hopefully not taking a shot in the leg or ass as he's jumping.
All right. The sniper is going to be trying to shoot one of the guys you grabbed. Give me a... What would it be to grab somebody and jump away before somebody gets shot?
I would probably, I would say athletic strength or dex. Just rough ballpark guesstimation.
Yeah, give me an athletics dex.
Oh boy.
check to make sure I roll enough.
That's at least 4. So
Oops, not roll enough dice. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's enough dice. All right, he got 5 successes. How many did you get?
4.
Okay. So one of the guys you're leaping away with takes the hit. And screams, and you hear a little sizzling.
Walter's gonna definitely be a little panicky at that point. Like, oh,
You know.
damn it.
Now it wasn't this huge gout of flame like with fire with dragon breath, because I don't think you could do a sniper around this dragon breath.
Yeah, dragon
In
breath. is
fact,
only
you
with
see a
shotguns.
light. You think he may have actually shot the guy with the tracer round.
That would be about right.
So yeah, it's kind of a yelp, and maybe even a little profanity. You know, as you go down and land, and the guy literally starts like slapping his backside. You know, damage, but not not that badly. It's not like he took a shot to the head or anything. You hear the guy, screaming about something about they can fly, and the other guy says something about hopping vampires. The other guy is going to try to shoot at Rat. He did considerably poorer. And Rat did considerably better. All right. So you hear a very meaty, well, you have slugged people good and hard before. It's that same kind of, sounds like somebody just took a really rough body shot.
Once
And you
Walter
hear one of
has-
the human guys.
Oh, Rat went for it. At that point, once Walter's landed with the 2 flunkies, he would kind of get on that little comms radio. It's like, Rat's engaged. I pull the other 2 back. Engagement ready. Be warned, 1 sniper pointed at entrance.
Well, it's not pointing at the entrance now, but.
Well, he's at least going to forewarn them. There's still at least 1 that can see the entrance.
And seconds before you heard his message, you heard that shot ring out. What sounded like a rifle shot, and then a slightly lighter, probably a pistol shot.
After the shot can be heard, he was like, one slight injury, nothing major.
You hear Maddox over the comms. Bollocks.
All right then.
Did the binoculars work for the power, or was there anyone visible to use them on?
Give me a wits awareness.
Does heightened senses only work for hearing?
I think it's in general.
Yeah, it's just your senses.
Cool. Heightened senses on, adding aspects to that. Four.
4. You managed to see somebody through a window.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you're scanning, you saw somebody, actually like kind of pull a curtain back and glance out. So you can try to use that ability. The difficulty is going to be 1 higher because of the binoculars, though.
Okay. Resolve plus aspects, so it'd be difficulty 4. Gonna willpower re-roll a dice. Okay, that gets it to 4.
Okay. Suddenly, you're looking through the binoculars, seeing this guy, and this guy standing, glancing out the window, looking in your general direction, but you can't see you through his eyes, so you think you're good.
Whatever he does, she'll kind of just narrate quietly for those gathered.
He's sitting there looking out the window. He's smoking. When he lets
Any
the
of like
when he
the
lets the curtain
surrounding
drop back and
insides
turns
too.
around, you can see this room in a rundown trailer. Like you're pretty sure Valerie was right. Nobody's lived here in a while. Inflatable mattress on the floor. Everything says this is like been a temporary setup. You know, he's got equipment against the wall. You can tell he's just in boxers. And the covers on his mattress are a little, mattress are a little disheveled. Like maybe he's tried to lay down already.
Some of them are very unprepared, so.
And then he starts hearing those shots go off. And he's like, damn it, and he runs for his gun.
We may want to move before they start rearming. This guy was basically in his underwear. He was in his underwear. We can very much catch them with their pants down. And then she'll kind of zoom back out because it's going to get weird trying to do that and take shots at people.
All right. So the frontal assault guys, y'all are running in.
Okay, I do get hungrier, but I activate toughness.
Okay. And we are going to do this in the whole 3 rounds and out method.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about necessarily specific, precisely, 1 round per 1 round, like a D&D combat.
Yeah.
Just tell me generally what you're doing as you're running through this place, and I'll tell you generally what they're doing. And then whoever does the best. All right. So yeah, as soon as the guns fire start, Saul, basically the rest of the frontal assault guys take off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyle's with them.
Okay. I believe Emma and Iola were going to be kind of behind them, second rank.
Yeah, she's going to let them
Yes.
get a good little bit of distance, but be following.
All right, so y'all are charging in.
I think Clint was with us too.
Yes. Pretty much all the gangrel. At some point, somebody. Let's see here. Yeah, Sergio is not with you. Because he's basically having to guard 2 domains over on the other side of town.
Which is completely understandable.
Oh, yeah. It just occurred to me that, it's Anarchs, but there's like no Bruja Baron indicator. Seems weird.
I can put a Bruja in that one little barony that's looking for a baron.
That's true. All right, so y'all are charging in. Walter, what are you doing? You hear it go over the comms that the assault has started.
He's gonna look at the 2 guys he carried, and he's going to just kind of assess the situation. Like, all right, but tries to look at tries to figure out which one's injured. Like, all right, let's you might want to hang back, but unless you feel like you're good enough to fight, then by all means. But other than that, get back to the others and we'll take it from here.
The tracer round has stopped glowing, so it's not actually burning him now. He manages to kind of fish it out. And it hurts, but I'm fine.
If
The
you're
other
sure.
guy, the other guy with the rifle, just kind of snickering at him. Well, they say it's the
Well.
best place to take a bullet if you had to.
Oh, it could have been a lot worse. And it could have been a lot more powerful of a round than what he shot you with. I'd hate to see that. I'd hate to see a dragon fire in that caliber.
But anyway, what is your plan for going into this combat?
Oh, his plan is to hopefully get a chance to re-obfuscate, which
Yeah,
Is
you're
it
on.
gonna
You're
be-
basically like on the other side of the crest of the hill now, so you are out of sight of that sniper nest.
You know,
You left poor
successful
Rat over here by himself.
rouse. Yep. So basically, he's going to tell them, or he's going to say, "Hey, y'all do what you want to. You got the rifle. Don't know what you have, but hey, go for it." And he's going to obfuscate back and try to continue sneaking, quote unquote, even though chaos is about to ensue. But Walter's going to attempt
Okay,
to
give
at
me a roll.
least sneak back over. What was that, sir?
Give me that. Give me a roll.
What was it? Yeah. Was it this dexterity stealth?
Yes.
3 successes.
Okay. The people in the trailers are. You see a few of them in full gear come running out of a couple of the trailers. Like the guy with the boxers. He doesn't leave the trailer. There's just a little bit of broken glass as he basically just busts out one of the windows in his room. He's gonna be firing out the window. So they're running out, looking around, shooting at anybody they see, charging them, as you guys are doing. And Kyle, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's basically gonna charge, and when he gets close enough to one, he has his Mossberg shotgun on him, and since that's a semi-auto, he's just gonna squeeze the trigger. He's not doing like a one shot. Basically, I'm trying to proc extra dice by pumping more rounds into whatever target he's aiming at.
Okay. Right, so
I know there's a rule for that. I know there's a role for that in the game, like in the PDF. It's like adds like another dice or two because you like pump more rounds in or whatever. But what would you like me to roll?
Firearms.
Mm-hmm. Can I use strength since I'm getting in close quarters?
I was going to say resolve. To, keep you, to keep calm, to keep focused, to not just be firing wildly. You're firing a lot, but you're trying to keep things kind of on target.
Gotcha. Okay. That is only 2 successes.
All right.
Any extra dice for pumping more rounds or no?
Go ahead and give yourself an extra dice.
Extra dice? Okay. Still 2 successes.
All right, so the hunters won that.
The dice are like, hold up, we got a story here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that everybody's coming, is being uninjured by some of this, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, they did beat you out. So they were returning fire with some of the hellfire, not hellfire, the dragonfire shots.
Mm-hmm.
So big gouts of flame coming out of the barrels. You're not close enough yet for that to trigger any kind of fear thing.
Yeah.
I mean, other than just the common sense fear of they're shooting something at me that can hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear one of Saul's, one of the pack's gangrels. You hear him take a hit,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of down on the ground, flopping around, trying to put himself out. But it doesn't look like it was a fatal hit.
Yeah.
Well, he does not freak out because he's on fire, though. I mean, he's
Fair
flopping
enough.
around to put himself out, but he's not frenzied.
Yeah. Yeah.
He critted on that roll,
Nice.
which is good because he got the skull on his hunger die, so it would have been bad if he'd failed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Emma and Iola pulling up the rear. What are y'all trying to do this round?
Is it just the one shooting out the window right now, or are there others shooting out the window?
There's only one shooting out the window. Like I said, there's 3 or so that have come out of the trailers, but they're fully equipped. It's like they had some inside, but still kind of on watch or whatever.
When she looked through that guy's eyes, did she see any fun explosive ordinances just hanging out?
You saw a couple of guns propped up against the wall, cases of ammo next to them. You saw what might have been a couple of grenades on like a bandolier, laying over there. But you didn't see any like crates of explosives or propane tanks in his room or anything like that.
If she can get a clean shot on him when he pops his head up, she is going to try and take it.
Okay.
She does have heightened senses on. I don't know if that'll let anything in.
I'll say that won't penalize you for range. Because you did say you were holding back behind other guys a little bit.
Yeah, she was bringing up the rear.
Oh, he didn't do well at all.
What would you like me to roll for taking a shot?
Okay. Firearms for sure. Let's see, you're further back, so the whole kind of composure resolve thing isn't as big a deal. Give me wits, because this is solely a being able to see him good enough from him being in the window and all that.
Yep. 4.
Okay. That beats the 1 he managed to roll.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, his die did not like him. Alright, so that's another one. That's another win for the Barons.
If she sees or hears him go down, she will try and get through the window to get those explosives. And on the next turn, she would possibly pass them to others that could use them much better than she could, or she'll go around chucking them into other trailers.
Wow. All right, Iola.
Okay. The others went in, right?
Yes, everybody's charging, and you and Emma hung back a little bit, letting the gang rules kind of run in first.
Yeah.
Though Emma is beelining towards one trailer, like shooting into the window.
Then Spider Monkey climbing in.
He would also follow to help her if she needed anything.
Okay.
And since, she'll be probably handing off explosives, she'll take a few and then,
All right. Well, as you're crawling in behind Emma, you see that the guy she shot is still alive. He'd fallen back, taking an injury, and now he's like, he's reaching over for his pile of equipment. He's going to try to pull something else out.
And she quickly looks and stares him in the eyes and compels him.
That makes sense. I mean, he's groping to find some stuff, but he is kind of looking at you two coming in. So you lock eyes with him.
Sleep.
Don't mind those bullets. Just take a nap.
Fine.
All right. Is there a roll for that?
This is what it says.
I think it's unaware mortals.
Yeah.
Let's see. Eye contact.
Of course, it's over here where it's behind everything.
Which one does compel fall under? Is it Auspex or
Dominate.
Dominate?
Yeah. No roll is required. Mortal, commanding, existing victim, the victim. Vampire has previously dominated in the same scene or another vampire requires a contested charisma dominance versus intelligence resolve.
Well, unprepared mortal victim, but he was prepared.
This guy knows he's fighting vampires, though.
No, commanding a resisting victim. A victim the vampire has previously dominated in the same scene or another vampire requires a contest of charisma and dominance versus intelligence resolve.
All right, so he needs to roll his intelligence resolve.
Yes. And I do charisma dominate.
Commands that go against victim nature also require such a contest. So, yeah, it would be all that.
Yeah.
Yowza. All right, so he critted. So he has a total of 6.
And I got all my 7.
So you got 7?
Yeah.
All right, that's enough. He looks at you, you can feel him try to resist, and then his eyes grow heavy, and he just sort of drops to the ground. I mean, he was already laying, but his head drops back. He's not having trouble sleeping anymore.
Might bleed out before he wakes up, but
It's fine.
You hit him a couple of times, so he is bleeding pretty good. Smells kind of nice.
yeah, considering she's at 3 hunger, he's smelling delicious. There may be a nibble.
Alright, so that's another win for the Barons. So yeah. So there's an initial rush in. A couple of the guys that ran out and started shooting have gone down with gangrels on top of them. Emma and Iola have taken out one guy. you hear more people moving around. They're shouting from inside. Walter, as you're sneaking past, you see Rat. You see that first guy Rat punched ain't getting up. And Rat's already kind of turning and wrestling around with the other guy. Now, the guy's trying to hold him off basically with the rifle, but you don't expect that to go too well for him. All right, so the next phase, Walter, you were basically sneaking down to the back side of the trailers there. You don't have any trouble doing that. They seem to be mostly concerned with the frontal assault. So once into the trailer part, what are you going to be trying to do?
Would Walter be able to tell if like the guy Rat took out like I'm guessing the spotter?
Yeah, it was the spotter he took out first. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, does it look like Rat did fade, or could Walter tell if Rat killed him outright? Just look like he got sucker punched real good.
As you were walking by, yeah, you're pretty sure that guy's dead.
Neck should not be bending that way.
Like his chest is a little caved in looking.
Oh. Okay.
He's either out or on his way out.
Well, at this point, Walter would probably assist Rat in taking care of the sniper.
Oh, okay.
Though Walter is probably going to try his best to do it as non-lethal as he can. Keyword is as he can.
All right. So you gonna just try to grab the guy, or are you gonna try to just carefully punch him in the head and only hurt him enough to knock him out?
The second one. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the guy. Man. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and give me your punch.
Okay, real quick, do a rouse check. I don't get hungrier to make sure the potence is added to the damage.
Is he wearing armor?
The person, I have no clue. Walter would probably still be wearing the coat you gave him, if anything.
Yeah, I mean the guy Walter is attacking.
Yeah, he'd have a little bit of Kevlar on at least.
Okay. Well then, keep in mind that because you have lethal body, you bypass 3 levels of armor.
Yep.
So the Kevlar body armor only would subtract 1 aggravated into superficial for your attack.
So tell me, Walter, are you going to use all of your dice?
I will trim back 1 out of it. That'll give me 4 successes.
Okay.
Because I was looking, I'm like, let's just go ahead and take one of the successes out.
All right, so 4 successes. He also got 4 successes. So that is a tie. And how many levels of potence do you have?
3.
So that is 3
just...
you would take.
Yeah, so you're punching him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he would... yeah. So he'd take 1 superficial, 2 aggravated.
So you walloped him pretty good. He's still conscious, but he ain't doing anything else useful this round. And with Rat up there and 2 more knots, this guy is effectively taken out. Or taken captive, I should say.
We've accomplished the one goal the stealth team was trying to do.
You didn't do it stealthily, but you did it.
I mean, there was a lot the stealth team needed to do. We didn't really get there.
Well, as soon as the one guy swung, as soon as the spotter came around and he realized there was 3 signatures, it was pretty much over. There was nothing else stealth could do.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled one of the stealth guys, and every single one of his dice came up blank.
Oof.
He didn't want to spend any willpower?
Okay, I did
He
not
spent
think
all
about
his
that.
willpower at the other location.
I did not think about that. That's kind of on me.
Good.
I mean, it's something you don't have to do as a rule, so I mean, it's
Alright.
understandable.
Emma, you're inside one of the trailers. What are you doing?
She would have grabbed the explosives.
So you run over to. Basically, he was reaching for the grenades. So he's got a little bandolier. There's like 4 grenades on there.
Cool. And there are 4 other trailers. It's like it was meant to be. If she wanted to drain 1 dot of hunger off this guy, how long would that take? Would that be something she would be able to do in a turn?
Yes, you
And
can take a sip
then-
in a turn.
A sip in a turn. She'd be like, sorry, buddy, but you're kind of on the way out anyways, and I'm going to need this tonight. And she's going to take a sip,
Okay.
and everyone else peeks out the door, like around Iola, like maybe opens up the front door and peeks out. Everyone kind of looks very occupied at the moment with their various people.
Mhm. In fact, as you're peeking out the window, you notice the someone has stepped out the front door of the trailer you're in and is on the porch, like shooting at Kyle and the gang.
Oh, that's convenient. Pop to the back of the head because she still has her pistol out.
All right, give me a roll.
Firearms and
Go ahead and give me dexterity for this one. Wow, I knocked 2 dice off of his, and he's still got 3 successes. So you need to beat 3.
meets it, beats it.
Yep, it does. And your gun does what damage?
I don't know if she would have bothered to switch out to the regular one. She might just be putting Hellfire back in them.
All right. Well, how much damage did your incendiary rounds do?
1 second, I'm trying to remember how to navigate this sheet. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. +3.
Okay. So you don't drill him just straight in the back of the head, but it kind of, it's more of a grazing shot. Definitely counts as a win for your side, though. Iola, what are you doing?
She would have possibly passed off some to Iola if Iola wants any on her way through some of the grenades.
Yeah.
So how many
Because
grenades
she
are you grabbing, Iola?
remembers, I guess, how many she can hold. Maybe about 2, and she's going to
Okay,
try to get it.
So you've got a grenade in both hands. What are you going to do with them, sirs?
Got 2 hands, and we got 2 grenades.
She remembered Kyle saying something about not having any explosives to blow shit up, so she's going to try to head to him with that.
Brought you grenades.
All right. In
A
that
little
case,
busy.
In that case, give me dexterity. This is going to be weird. Give me dexterity and resolve. As you are trying to keep your cool, running through all this gunfire, and not get hit while you make your way over to Kyle, while people are of course shooting at you. Because hey, you're dead, and you've got grenades.
6 successes.
Versus their 2.
Oh.
So you are right up next to Kyle. Look, Kyle, grenades.
She knows he can probably use them better than she can, so here you go.
You hold these. I'll just keep the pins. And
Does
Kyle.
she do that?
Yes, she runs up to you. Well, she
Wait,
gets to you with a
does
grenade.
she keep the pins?
Oh, well, that.
No.
Okay.
No. She would have
She
been
goes,
like,
throw them quick.
She's about Caven. We have to ask for these things.
Yeah, she is. The grenades are pocketed. The shotgun is reslung, and he's gonna just don't get any hungrier. He's gonna claw the guy that was shooting dragonfire.
Okay, so you run up on one of the guys. And it ain't one
Yeah.
guy that's shooting it. It's basically all of them.
Yeah.
The guy in the window, I think, was shooting a regular rifle round.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they're brawl. Yeah, he got 5 successes. So when he sees you coming, he tries to club you with the butt of his rifle or butt of his shotgun.
I, however, got a critical success. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, so you beat him by 2.
An additional 2 for feral weapons, since claws are out.
Yep. And he may
So
have
that's
already been injured from the
4.
previous round, so he goes down and bloodily.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he comes up with that gun and with the well, actually, your claws aren't aggravated though, so they wouldn't.
Yeah, they aren't aggravated, but they do bypass half superficial. And since I do have
Well, that only helps with vampires though, with the whole not having.
yes. However, I do bypass 1 point of armor.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna say that's
only
enough
one.
I'm gonna say that's enough for you to cut through the gun and through the shotgun on the way to him.
Okay, dokie.
So everybody, y'all all got the wins that round. So the fighting continues. A lot of the hunter guys are going down.
Mm-hmm.
That round, none of your side actually took any damage.
Yeah.
The pack member that was on fire has managed to more or less put himself out. I mean, he's looking pretty badly burned, but he's still in it to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Emma had heightened senses going on.
Yes. Do I need to make a roll to make sure that sticks, or because it is in the middle of a firefight?
That's true. Go ahead, give me a roll to make sure you haven't gotten deafened,
Let me double check what that one is.
or the power shuts itself off, or whatever it was.
You have to make a roll to shut it off in time to prevent from getting deafened.
Okay.
What's resolve? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when you were charging through the gunfight to get to the.
Four successes to no one to shut it off, so
Okay,
it would have
you're
been
fine.
okay. Did she see would she, from the current setup and then the visual she got when that guy came in, would she kind of know where the lead trailer is, or where like the main setup would have been. Like the command center, I guess, of this little 5 trailer area.
Yeah. I'll say that he, at least the guy that you had initially looked through, was saw one of the higher ranking guys, or one of the guys they were deferring to, walk to that back trailer. You know, you had the front 4, and then the one kind of center in the back.
Okay. Is anyone firing out of that one? Any open doors or anything?
No.
All right. Quick glance at it. Anyone looking through windows? Anything? Or are all the lights out?
There's a little bit of light, like not like they have a light turned on, but like something in there is giving off some light. But you don't see anybody in the windows.
I hate to be asking all the questions. Flickering light, like a flame kind of light, or just a like light bulb?
It almost makes you think of it like a television screen, though it's probably not a TV.
Okay, probably like a computer monitor or something.
Something.
Shoot. She's gonna try and go for the trailer next to the one she came in, which I'm guessing might have been this one. So she would
Okay.
go to that one.
All right.
And if there's if they're shooting out the front, she's gonna go around back, bust a window, throw a grenade in.
All right. Give me a probably athletics for throwing. No, fire. I think we looked at it one time before. It was firearms for throwing.
Okay.
And dexterity, because you're trying to be stealthy. And, aiming or whatever. Now we'll roll their awareness to see if they see a grenade coming in or realize you're sneaking around to do that and get themselves out of the way.
5.
1, 2, 3. So you beat him by 2. So that is a victory for your side.
Make sure to turn away from the explosion so there's no chance of triggering if possible.
Well, I'm not sure like a frag grenade would necessarily. Though to be fair, they probably wouldn't be using frag grenades. They'd probably be using
Explosive.
something, incendiary.
Either way, she's just gonna turn her face away from it so it doesn't damage her eyes.
All right, Walter, what are you doing? You had popped that guy, and basically the other Nosses all kind of run up and, they have him.
Okay. At this, he would probably assess the battlefield, try to figure out what flank is lacking in any type of firepower, quote
All
unquote.
right, you see the gangrel mauling a bunch of guys kind of up towards the front. You see Emma run back behind this trailer, one of those back trailers here, and chunk a grenade in like the back window, and then duck down as the grenade goes off.
He's probably gonna leap over towards Emma, just as a safety precaution of, I don't know what you're doing, but you might need muscle.
I'm fine. I had a snack. I've got grenades. I'm fine.
Well, now you only have a grenade.
Walter don't know this. All Walter knows is that he saw you duck and heard an explosion, just like concerned. So he's going to head towards Emma, and if there's any infighting to be had there, he'll swing.
All right,
Both
as
of
you
them.
leap down, the back door of the trailer opens. Or not the back door of the trailer. Further down the trailer, one of the back windows gets busted out, and a guy leans out to try to shoot him. So you have the chance to leap down, basically owning him.
Rude.
All right, let's leap down and see how much damage he can do.
All right.
He knows he has a captive, so he's not going to be non-lethal at this point.
All right.
Nos from the top ropes.
And this guy's using his firearms. So basically, if he beats you, that's how many shots or how many successes he's got hitting him.
All right, so strength brawl. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all the dice I need.
You got a total of a 5 with a crit.
I can take it.
Ooh, yay! Luckily, all 7 dice actually made it.
All right, so you beat him by 2.
And then Potence added on, so another 3.
Oh yeah, he's probably out because he's taking a little bit of damage from Emma's grenade. So yeah, you almost take his head off. His shot goes wild into the dirt.
Walter smiling at Emma. Looks like I chose the right direction.
Iola, now that you've given Kyle his grenades, what are you going to do?
Run back and grab some more grenades, and then look for areas that she could probably toss them into.
There
Alright.
aren't any left.
No?
Well,
It was
not
just
in the
before-
trailer. Not in the trailer that her and Emma got into originally. Well, there's other trailers. There could always be somebody in there. So grenades in there.
No, then she's gonna go check another trailer.
All right, give me a wits awareness. Because you're having to do this searching. Of course, they're shooting at you while you're trying it, though not very well. They got 3 successes.
I also got 3 successes.
Tie goes to the player. So you manage to get in there, and you're running back out with another grenade to give somebody, or use yourself. However you want to do it. Let's see, I've covered everybody but Kyle this round, haven't I? So Kyle, what are you doing?
Well, as long as he's done mauling this guy.
Yeah, there is a dwindling number of people outside to fight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Though nobody seems to have done anything to this back trailer.
Yeah, that's where he's going next.
Alright, so you're charging into that back trailer.
hmm
I'm gonna say you can smash through the front door without any effort.
He was gonna go through a window.
That'll be fine too. Even easier.
Mm.
There's a slightly older than most of the ones you've seen here.
Mhm.
And he's on a radio, talking about, we're being overrun. You smash through. He comes up, pistol in one hand.
Okay.
The last thing he says on the radio is, "Well, it's been an honor serving with you." And he's gonna try to take a shot at you while you're leaping to take him out.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 total.
Okay. Am I doing brawl?
Yes, you're doing your brawl. Whatever goes with brawl, strength, or is it dex? I forget.
Yeah, strength. I am going to utilize my specialty in grapple. So he's going to basically retract his claws temporarily.
Okay. You're not trying to do damage. You're trying to.
He'd have to dismiss the power to retract them. So that's what he'll do.
Okay, that's fine.
So he'll dismiss the power, and I will utilize my grappling proficiency. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 successes.
Okay, you want to burn any willpower?
Yeah,
All right, how many are you re-rolling?
only 2. Which both come up blank, so still 4.
All right, so he wins that one.
Mhm.
He beats you by 2. It's incendiary rounds because it's a pistol,
Okay.
not the full dragon breath.
Right. So what's the damage total?
What's a heavy pistol?
Plus 4.
That was +3 because I think Emmett's got a heavy pistol.
No, you have a medium. A heavy is 4.
Okay, never mind.
A 357 is a heavy, and that's a plus 4 damage.
What's a typical military sidearm or pistol?
Medium, I'd say.
Okay, we'll go with medium then. So that's
I
3,
mean,
4,
it's up to you.
5. Well, yeah, I'm thinking this guy's military, so he's using equipment he's familiar with.
Fair enough.
So that's 3 from that. He beat you by 2, so that's 5.
5. Okay.
It's not dragon breath, but it's incendiary, so it is doing aggravated.
Yes. So 4 of it is converted to superficial.
Because of the toughness you activated? Or the
No, because of his armor.
Oh, I forgot about that. Actual body armor, yeah.
Reduced by 2 because of toughness, and then halved again because superficial. So I take 2 ag.
Okay. So
No, sorry, 1 ag, 1 superficial.
okay. So definitely hurt, but nothing disabling.
Yeah, he just basically tanked it and went, really.
Alright, well that was the end of the third round, and y'all pretty decisively got came out the better on this. So technically there would still be some running around and running around and people dying. And, when all is said and done, you've taken the sniper alive and this commanding officer.
Yeah. If I can, basically, if he's gonna grapple this guy to the ground while the chaos is still happening, it's like, why the hell are you doing this?
You freaks eat people.
Think I asked for this?
Then walk out into the sun and save the rest of us having to deal with you.
Still people I have to protect.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too.
Well, buddy, that's a start. And he'll like search him for handcuffs or some binding thing, like maybe zip ties or whatever.
You can find some
Tie
in
his
the room
arms-
for sure.
Tie his arms together.
And it's not too much after this that the noise starts dying down outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to be wrapping this up.
I'll say it's almost 10.
So yeah, the backup guys come in since none of these people got to their vehicles and tried to get away.
Get out any things we can and leave the evidence and blow it all up.
Yeah.
Maddox's guys start running into the buildings, throwing down some of the little chemistry set looking stuff and little baggies of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got something set up that it's like they can set up a lab type setup that will blow up fairly quickly.
Were there any computers or anything that we could have gotten?
There was in that back trailer.
Okay, I would assume that.
It's all
Kyle
laptops.
jumped into.
Yeah, I would assume that
yeah,
we could get that out.
Yeah, the one that was the command trailer. It had some laptops.
Yeah, Kyle will abscond with all of the material evidence.
And pass it on to Walter and stuff.
Yeah, laptops, PDAs, whatever it is. he's going to power it down first.
Take out the battery.
Um,
A lot of modern laptops you couldn't necessarily do that with.
Yeah.
Some of them still, yeah.
But yeah, he will like he will hard shut off everything, unplug it, take it, take the power stuff. Although is one of them like is a page opener like them like saying like what they're hunting or whatever, like hunting grounds,
No, they were both in like sleep mode when you find them.
sleep mode. Okay, never mind then. All right. So yeah, and he will tuck those away, take them with him.
All right. So, and all that part goes down fairly quickly because y'all made a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody disperses to their separate directions, meets up at the park. I guess we'll handle the questioning next time.
Yeah. Although before we leave, Kyle will pull out his revolver, loaded with with one incendiary round. He will aim at one of the propane tanks. And he's just gonna shoot it. After everyone's like left to sort of set off the burning.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
At labs.
And they had stripped off a lot of the equipment off some of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, they wouldn't leave the bodies behind because some of the bodies were shot, some of them were clawed up.
Yep.
So they probably just clear the bodies out.
Yeah.
But all right. So before we break for the evening, where are you taking these guys for the questioning?
I mean, I did tell Ada I'd bring her back someone to question.
All right.
The commanding officer sounds great.
So y'all meet back up at the park.
She would ask Ada and Woodard before bringing him into the mall if they wanted to question them there, or if they wanted to question off-site.
Woodard is fine with them all.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like we're letting him go afterwards.
Oh no, but still. She doesn't want to just bring enemy onto someone else's territory, even if it is their baronry.
But some of the other barons would like to be present at the questioning.
She would make sure that's okay with Woodard, but she would assume it would be okay.
Well, they don't care about Woodard's opinion of it. They ask you guys because you guys are the barons, not Woodard.
At that point, Kyle will be like, how many want to come?
Maddox, August, the right-hand man from Wallace wants to be there.
Okay.
The pack, the warden.
Like a dozen people.
They're like good. Yeah, you can just tell us what you can tell us what you find out. Yeah. But neither of them had really suffered at these guys' hands particularly.
Okay, so like 4 additional people.
Yeah, at that point, Kyle will pull out his phone, shoot a text to Woodard, and say, "Prepare to receive some esteemed guests."
Bring company with that. So we will basically wrap with y'all. If this was a movie or I guess a show, we would wrap up with this little caravan of cars pulling in and behind the mall.
Explosion in like a distant landscape setting shot.
All those poor firefighters that were just putting out the lumber yard now racing over to put out this trailer park.
You're all supposed to be on lockdown. Why do you have this much time for arson?
But so we'll wrap there for the evening. I hope y'all had fun. I enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. Hope anybody that comes by and watches or listens enjoyed it. Hope our sound's better this week. I think maybe I figured out the volume problem. If you're looking for more games, check the schedule below. There are more games here on Dire Bear. And come back next week. Again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me was Sarah playing Emma. Eric playing Kyle. Rappy playing Iola. And Dua playing Walter. And we will see y'all next week.